Hello and welcome back to UMA 301. In this episode we're going to have a look at importing clothing models onto our character and also the final prep that we need to do to turn this into an UMA. So once we're finished with this episode we should be working in Unity from now on. So basically one of the main things that we need to consider here is how we want to split our character up. You will know by now that UMA, the standard ones, are split at the waist, at the feet, at the hands and at the neck. This was originally so that these body parts could be hidden depending on what clothing you're wearing. Now with the mesh hide asset, you don't really need to split these off anymore. You can use a mesh hider to simply hide the polygons you don't want to see. So it's up to you how you want to work this. You may want replaceable limbs, things like that, so that's up to you. One of the other considerations may be what clothing you're going to put on your character. So just before we go ahead with this, I want to quickly show you the beauty of having chosen Fuse as our base. So I'm going to nip back over into Fuse. Okay, and there's our character as we had him before we exported. I'm going to go to the clothing panel, and there is lots of modifiable clothing available for our Fuse characters here, and we can just put this straight onto our model and map them just like we did in UMA 201. So very quickly I just want to show you the export settings here. So let's pick a jacket, let's pick those bottoms and some shoes of some description. There we go. But it could be anything. There's hats, there's hair, there's all sorts of things in here which you can carry across into Blender. So we're going to say File, Export, export the model as OBJ. In here we don't need to fiddle with anything apart from the character scale. This is always 100 times too large, so if we deal with it here by putting 0.01 in there, that will mean it will fit perfectly as soon as we import it. Okay, so that's how we export from Fuse. If we go back into Blender, I'm not going to use these now, but I'll just show you how this works. If I say File, Import, OBJ, let's head to my desktop, Video Fuse, and bring in that OBJ file. You can see there all of our clothes are fitted to our character. Now what it's brought in, it's highlighted here, so we've got another body which we don't want, so I'm going to delete that. And we've got some more eyelashes which I didn't want, so I'm going to delete those. You might want to add them at this point. And you can see I've got my textures have actually come in and my meshes. Now you can fiddle about with the resolution you export at from Fuse. So if we look at Fuse again and we look at our texture, we could say I want this to be a 1K texture. But essentially we've got everything we need. We just need that mesh to actually convert that into a slot, and the beauty is it fits perfectly. So you now have access to a bank of an awful lot of different clothing items to work on your character. Okay, I'm just going to remove that and start again. There we go. I just wanted to show you how you might consider splitting your character up. Okay, so here we are where we began at the start of the session, and as I said, you may want to split your UMA up in many different ways. What I want to do is actually split him at the neck. So I've got a body mesh and I've got a head mesh, and the main reason I'm doing that is that I want to isolate all of the blend shapes that we're using just to the head. That means I'm only getting, if I've got 10 blend shapes, I will only have 10 copies of the head, not of the entire body. So that's a clever way you can actually reduce the space that these blend shapes take up. If you're really clever, you could maybe just do it on the face, but for speed I'm going to do it around the neck. Okay, now before we start splitting anything, let's just tidy up what we've got. I'm not going to use this original body with all of the blend shapes in again. I don't want it. You may want to transfer a few more across, or you may want to save this away, but just to keep this clean, I'm going to remove that original body. So I'm going to right click and say delete hierarchy, and that removes everything inside it. I'm going to rename my body clean to just plain old body now. and you can see this is the one with only a couple of blend shapes in there. And also one other thing, the eyes actually contain those original 50 blend shapes. Wow, so that means I've got 50 copies of the eyes in this file. Don't want that, so I'll pick any shape key other than the basis, which will then let me say, where is it, delete all shapes. Bang. So those eyes are now clean, just simple, straightforward meshes. Brilliant. Okay, so before we start splitting this up, we need to create something called the unified model. Now, our unified model is all of our meshes mashed together, which we give to UMA, which tells it how to stitch these things together. When we do a split around this neck, the normals get separated, so when we stitch them back together, you will see a seam. There'll be a hard edge. In order to get rid of that, UMA needs a model with all of this put back together, with all of this in its original state, and it will stitch those joins together and repair the normals. So it's really quite clever. To do that, we need our unified mesh. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a copy of the body, so I'm going to Shift D to duplicate and hit escape. So there's my copy of the body. I'm going to take a copy of the eyes, so Shift D to duplicate and escape because we don't want to move them. I'm going to select my eyes, I'm going to Shift select the body, and I'm going to move into the screen and hit Control J to join. And what that's done, that has, if I just turn off the body visibility and the eyes visibility, that's combined those two into a single mesh called body 01. I'm going to call this unified. Brilliant. So that is our seams mesh. That is going to stitch our normals back together. Okay, I'll switch that off and turn my other meshes back on. Great. So now I'm going to split this body mesh up into a head and a body. That's pretty easy to do. So I'm going to go into edit mode, and you can see one of my shape keys is being selected here. Let's just switch to back to basis. There we go, so we're back to normal, and I'm basically going to select all of the vertices or all the edges that I want to be separated. So first of all, let's hit 5 to go into ortho mode and 3 to get a side view. I'm then going to, let's have a look, let's put see-through mode on so we can see the inner mouth, and I can select through the object, and I'm going to select faces. So I'm going to go up here and hit B for box select, and I'm going to box select this area here. Okay, that looks okay. Let's turn see-through mode off, and what else shall we do? Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm going to tidy up this split here, so I'm just going to hold shift down, and in fact I'm going to use circle select here, and I'm just going to paint the remaining faces and shift paint to deselect them. Okay, let's go around the front and get this collar completed. So C and paint these. Looks good. Escape, press C again to circle select, and that looks great. So lovely. That is where I'm going to split my head from my body. So to separate that out, all I need to do is hit P on the keyboard, and I'm going to say separate by selection, and that is now a separate mesh. And you can see I've got, if I just hit escape here, let's go back into object mode, I've got body, which is the original body and legs, and I've now got body 001, which is my head. So let's rename that to head. Brilliant. So we're now split, and you can see here in Blender already with that split, you can see that seam that UMA is going to repair for us. But there we go, we now have everything we need. We've got our unified mesh, which is everything mashed together, and we've got our 3 slots that are actually going to make up the UMA itself. The one last thing I want to do just to optimize, is that body mesh no longer needs these shape keys. So whereas at the moment there are 3 copies of that mesh, yep, I can select one of them. I can say where are we, delete all shapes, bang, that's now just a clean bone driven mesh. So we've optimized this as far as we need to go. Again, up to you. If you want to split it further, feel free to do so. Oh, and before I forget, let's take that unified mesh and let's remove the shape keys from there as well. Okay, where are we? Delete all shapes. There, that's better. Right, but having it in that sort of state is where we need to be to turn this into an UMA. So I'll see you in the next session where we'll head into Unity and do exactly that.
And once again, I'd like to say a big thank you to my patrons for making this possible. If you would like to support me, feel free to click that link at the end of the video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.